Hey guys, welcome back. Today I found this video of Candace Owens. Her show yesterday was amazing, but it kind of goes back and forth between what she's saying and what TPUSA is saying. And it's just pretty bang on about, to me, I think she's telling the truth. I think she is bang on with everything. And I think they are completely full of shit. And she calls them out and they weren't expecting that. And I'm actually shocked that they actually owned up to the thread of text messages that were going back and forth. But, anyways, have a listen here. It kind of goes back and forth from what she's saying and from what they have to say.
Because I'm very aware of what's going on. Okay. And I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night.
Text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a text grab, a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic.
I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely was authentic. And I saw a post by Ian Carroll today, and it was saying, wouldn't it be a twist if it was actually Erica Kirk that was the one that was kind of filtering all this inside information to Candace Owens? But it is interesting for me is the fact that they lied and lied and lied about it. And she was just holding this in her back pocket the whole entire time. And like I said, the Laura Loomers of this world that are just going balls to the wall against Candace Owens. I don't know. I think it's a big fuck you to her and everybody else that's second guessing what she's saying, because she's showing up with receipts. I had no doubt in my mind that if she was going to claim something, that she had receipts. There was zero doubt in my mind. She's a smart cookie, regardless if it's positive or negative you have to say about her, but she is definitely a smart cookie, and she's done her work and she's done the research. So she would never have said any of those things if she did not have the receipts. And they're just too stupid to know that she would never make those claims if she actually didn't have the receipts.
Oh, how you can present yourselves as a Christian organization and not be dedicating yourself to the truth. No matter what the cost is, you tell the truth. That's it. And you tell it immediately. And I don't think they're capable of doing that. And I have an idea as to why that is. I think the same people that were pressuring Charlie are pressuring them. In fact, I know that for a fact. So they might need my help.
I actually am really excited that the truth is out there. I first want to say the reason I didn't share that screen grab publicly is because it was a private exchange, and I felt like it didn't necessarily comport with things that were already public. I wanted to not betray my friend's trust in that way.
But again, he's not acknowledging the fact that he lied, saying that I didn't want to, show those text messages. It was a private thread. Yeah, that's true. But don't go against everything she's saying and call her out to be a liar when you know that thread of messages exists. And he said that he had taken screenshots of that and shared it with other people. So if you know that you've taken screenshots of something, you've sent it out there. And I say this to my kids all the time. Once it's out there, it can go where you have no control over it. So to know that those text messages were kind of in hand and out there, and to not think that she might have a handle on it with all the convictions that she had. And like she said, you're a Christian organization. You shouldn't be lying. You just should not be lying, period.
But I did share it with some people in government because it happened really quick. It was, it took 33 hours for authorities to get their suspect. And in those first moments, we wanted no stone unturned.
About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. Okay, Charlie was done. He said it explicitly that he refused to be bullied anymore by the Jewish donors. Can you guys answer? Did he express that?
This group text, he does say, that he is leaving him no choice but to leave the pro-Israel side. Here's what I want people to know. Charlie said these things publicly and privately to us, like that he was frustrated. He would say something like that, and then he would go in a public situation and he would strike a more moderate tone.
Charlie said he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause because of, and I quote, Jewish donors, the behavior of Jewish donors.
People are going to try to make you
And another thing, when they keep bringing up the letter that he wrote to Netanyahu back in May, there's so many things that have could have changed within those what June, July, August, so 3, 4 months that he was trying to express to them. You're losing ground. You're losing me. How do we fix it? How do we fix it? And then 3 months go by, and as far as I can see, it just got worse and worse and worse. And he was probably getting more and more threatened. So to say that he was, oh yeah, he's my best friend back in May, well, obviously a lot of shit can happen in between those months. So yeah, to me that letter was completely irrelevant, and who even knows if it's 100% authentic? Who knows?
Fixate on a particular quote or a particular line to make you think that there was something hidden. There was nothing hidden about Charlie's views on Israel.
Here's the thing. I looked at that moment as like he's just blown off steam. He's frustrated. He's venting, right?
Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back?
You know, he made that very clear under any circumstances that he was not going to be cowed or bullied into deplatforming Tucker, for example. He made that expressly clear to us. Would he have invited Candace? I have no idea. You know, I think.
Well, if he was willing to have Tucker, I'm sure he was willing to have Candace. There's no question in my mind that they were still friends. To me, in my wholehearted opinion, and I've said this in some of my comments, I believe at the end of the day, when it comes to the end of your life, if you have 5 true friends on your hand, if you can count 5 friends on your hand that are your true friends, that are your ride or die, you are a very lucky person. And I think 100% that she was very lucky. He was very lucky to have her on his side, because she is literally the only one that's fighting for the truth right now.
What he was saying in that text, he's like, keep coming at me, bro, and let's see what happens.
I'm going to challenge Turning Point USA executives to issue a very clean statement saying that I am lying if this is not true.
It has been so frustrating to have people blow up about this.
Yeah.
And I've certainly stated publicly, the reason I haven't weighed in on things is I am an eyewitness to events, and they've said, don't comment on things because anything you say can mess that up. I don't want to mess up any trial for the person who did this.
That's 1,000% right. I'm cognizant of the fact that whatever I say could, first of all, it could negatively implicate an ongoing investigation. But I also want you guys to think about, before you press send, before you hit publish, just think about, maybe tainting a jury pool.
These guys are weasels. Like, I would use another word, but they're weasels to taint an investigation. Hey, how about telling the truth? How about laying out the truth for everybody, especially when it's literally there in black and white. Them hiding from the truth and pointing fingers at people saying, oh, you're lying and you're lying, for the one person that's actually doing more of an investigation than the FBI and the federal government combined, and pointing to her saying that she's a liar. And then you're worried about telling the truth because it could taint an investigation. I don't. It just smells like fish. It's bad, 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 bad.
Maybe the implications could be negative in that way.
Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point.
And he wouldn't want to see it hurt Turning Point USA. This Turning Point USA, he loved like you can't believe. It was his baby.
The only people that are doing damage to TPUSA is them, because it's supposed to be a Christian organization, and then you're out and out lying and then pointing your finger at somebody else claiming they're the liar. Meanwhile, they're the only person that is out there trying to get the truth. They are doing their own damage. They are doing their own damage to the whole case by not telling the truth and trying to scoot the truth underneath the carpet and say, well, we didn't know. We don't want to hurt the investigation. I don't know. How about tell the truth? It's just seems common sense to me. They are out and out liars. And I agree with Candace when she says, when there's little lies, when they start the little lies, and there's a phrase in law, essentially it says, if someone tells little lies, you can assume that everything they say is a lie. There's some Latin term to that. I forget what it is, but essentially that's it. You start telling me little lies, I shouldn't have to believe anything else you say. So in a court of law, they can say that this person was lying about these 2 things, so therefore I don't have to believe anything that person says. And they're just out and out lying. It's so frustrating.
He put so much time and energy into building Turning Point, into picking the people that could play in different roles.
None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving, okay? There is no way you are letting these lies fly.
Another thing I want to say is that when it veers into, attacking some of the people that love Charlie the most and were closest to him.
I truly believe the one that loved him the most out of all these people involved, take Erica Kirk out of the equation, is Candace Owens. Like I said, she is most definitely his one true friend. At the end of the day, she is the only one that's fighting for the truth, the absolute truth.
I just want you to have pause and think maybe, there's so many people around here, Blake, that haven't even had a chance to grieve.
I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted.
I'm disgusted as well. It's absolutely brutal to have time to grieve. You don't think that she's grieving, but she's grieving, meanwhile, seeing this bullshit line that's being thrown out there by the FBI and knowing all these untruths are out there. So she's grieving, but at least sometimes someone needs to do something with their grief. And she can't sit by and just listen to the bullshit that's out there. So she's grieving, but to not tell the truth, like I said, they're doing their own damage. They're supposed to be a Christian organization. No, they're lying. It smells like fish. And like I said before, you tell one little lie. And I think and even the whole investigation, anybody that thinks that that investigation is on above board, there's so much shit that's going down. The fact I was with my friends here in Phoenix, and I was with people that actually knew Charlie Kirk and was a big part of it. They actually didn't go to Glendale, but I was talking with them, and I know they're Christian, and I know that they're believers, but I'm like, when they're trying to tell me that, wow, isn't it crazy? He had magic bones. But I'm sorry, if they're in a court of law and they're saying, and the prosecutor's sitting there going, well, he had a magic bones. And the defense attorney is going to be like, there's no such thing. If they did a ballistics test, his head would have been blown off by one of those bullets. So I'm like, I don't live in a world where there's magic bones. It's just not the world that I live in, and the sky is blue, the world that I live in too. When I looked at my friends, I'm like, there's no magic bones. Like it just does not exist. There's so much bullshit. I have boys that are the same age as Tyler Robinson. And I'm like, they don't speak like that. They don't use squad cars. They say a cop car. They don't use the word vehicles. They'll say the car over there. They don't say I would retrieve. Like, it's just not in any. Like, I have 3 boys, 18 to 22. None of them use the word retrieve ever. And I don't even think, probably, if 1 out of the 3 could actually spell retrieve, I would be surprised. Okay, it is such bullshit, and that they're just. And I know people just want to believe in the, like I said, TPUSA, you're supposed to be the above board. I don't believe for 2 seconds if this was turned around and if this was Candace Owens that had happened to, Charlie Kirk would have taken that bullshit line of whatever defense that they're having, that this other guy did it and it's a leftist. It's such bullshit. He would not have accepted it either. There's not 1 ounce of me that believes that he would have accepted it. And I think he would have been fighting as much as her for the truth. And you're all fucking crazy. That Laura Loomer, I was doing some research today. I might do another video on her. She's a Mossad agent. If you're the pro-Israel, go be pro-Israel. But this is what bothers me. People that are pro-Israel, they just have to keep pushing it and pushing it on other people. Back off. We don't need it. Like TikTok, now the algorithm's all been taken over. If you have to take over the narrative and to push somebody else's narrative down, if your truth isn't being above board, then you have to do that. You have to manipulate. You have to control the algorithms. You have to start changing whatever the narrative is. Or we don't look over here, because you might actually see the truth. And that's exactly what's happening on here. And they just fucked with the wrong person, because Candace Owens, she's a badass, and she's going to go balls to the wall to find out the truth. And I'll be following her every minute of the way. And again, there are no magic bones. Boys don't talk like that. This is all a bunch of bullshit. And I don't know what's going on. There's no blood on the scene. I saw a Nike ad on Twitter, and had him carrying Charlie out, and his sneakers were as white as can be. I'm a diehard true crime person. I don't care. You could be in bumfuck nowhere in like the middle of the United States at a fucking trailer park, and if there's a murder, there's a crime scene. There's a crime scene. There's that yellow tape goes up. I was watching a murder thing the other day, and they're literally in a fucking trailer park. There was a murder, and the mom came because it was her daughter, and they wouldn't. The crime scene tape was up. They wouldn't even let the mother in, and it was all raw because her mom was doing a welfare check, and because they hadn't heard from her. So she shows up there, the police are there, see it's a crime scene. They won't let the mother in. There's a thing, they like no one's allowed to come home back to like to for them to just wipe over this like it didn't happen. It's just there, it smells like fish from every which way that you look at it, and to not acknowledge that, you got your head up your ass, and you come out and see the sunshine that's out there and shine a light on what the actual truth is. She's the only one that's going for the truth. And I want to like give her a high five behind her 1,000,000,000%. And those that are fighting it, I wonder why. And TPUSA, I have no idea what the hell's going on there, but he was the leader. He is like the top guy. Like they should be, I'm shocked. I am shocked that they are not rallying behind her, saying, what happened to our leader? We need to find out what the truth is. The bullshit lines that the FBI and the federal government are telling us are complete bullshit. We need to get to the truth and not accept any of the things that they are saying and follow her lead. But the people that are against her, it's just mind-boggling. And if she was completely full of shit and she was batshit crazy, we wouldn't even be listening. We would be like, oh, well, they're like the crazy girl over there is spewing shit. But they're not. Everybody's listening because what she's saying makes sense. If what she was saying made absolutely no sense, we would have stopped listening. The problem is, and this is why so many people are going up against her, is because what she's saying is making sense, and what the FBI is telling us is absolute bullshit and makes no sense whatsoever. So I hope to God, I hope wherever Charlie is, he's behind her 1,000,000,000%. I truly believe he does. He's very lucky to have her as a friend. And I think that when he hired her in the first place, he saw that there was something special in her. And I think that he's a special guy, and he saw something equally as special in her. Because I think that, I know he was obviously the head of that company, but she was a strong ally for him. She helped him build that company. And I've built a company from the ground up. And it's funny, the friends that you have when you're building the company are not the same friends you have when the company's successful. But when everything goes to shit, those people that were there that helped you build that company from the get-go, those are your true friends. Trust me, I've done the whole cycle. I know who my true friends are. I can, when I see it, I can identify it. She is his true friend. And anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. If anybody thinks that she's completely full of shit, I even if she is, give her credit for trying to find the truth, because whenever the FBI bullshit that they're trying to spew to everybody is just not above board. Again, please like, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.